What's going on, everybody? It's Rocky with another edition of the ROCKDEEP Chronicles. Today we are featuring the Omega Sci-Fi 1911 boot and the story behind why it never came to be. This story is one of a little bit of frustration, but I wanted to let everybody know this is also a telltale sign of never let anything get in your way of your own success, and don't let anybody else mess up your brand for you. So one day I was at my sister's birthday party to cook out, and she had some friends over. A few of them were Qs, they were bros, and they heard about, my company was kind of brand new at the point, getting shoes out and selling them and all that kind of stuff. So they had asked me, hey, would I be interested in making a step boot for them? So I told them we went into it and all that kind of stuff, and I said, hey, here's what I'll do. I'll make a sample for you guys. I already actually had a boot that I designed, but I actually wanted to retrofit it, if you will, redesign it, and make it specifically for them. And this is the boot. Just I'm a little further away than usual, y'all, because I want to do a kind of a different look. But this is a little further away than usual. But this shoe would retail for at least $250 at any other place. The quality that goes here, I'll actually step up and give you guys a close-up. This is the boot. It's got my branding right here. Their branding right here. All the way around. And now, mind you, I have a lot of friends who are Qs. A lot of friends. In college, I had roommates that were Qs. One, it was a pleasure to be a Kappa. And two of my buddies when I played baseball, were pledging to be Qs. So I have great love for the Qs. Matter of fact, I wore this purple and gold sweatsuit so I could, give them a little bit of homage. But the story behind that is, after I made the boot, got it and said, hey, you guys are going to have to pre-order because I can't front all this money. I'm still an upstart small business, which I still am. Not upstart, but still small. And but I'm going to need you guys to pre-order. But what I'm going to do to you, because my whole purpose behind my company is never having anything for over $100. So I said, I will make this boot for you guys for $99. A boot that's worth $250, guys, for $99. And the pre-orders were rolling. I had friends that were sharing it in their Q pages. I was actually doing the same. And as weeks were going by, we were getting ready. And I said, hey, you have to hit a certain number if we're going to go through this. If not, everybody gets their money back, blah, blah, blah. So I was only going to make 2,500 of these, because basically, as a small company, you have to meet certain minimums to be able to do something at a cost that will be beneficial to both the consumer and for you. It cost me almost $300 to get these samples done. This is the last iteration. There were different, and if you go to the ROCKDEEP Facebook page, which you're on now, doing a live, and I'll share this to other pages, you can actually see the actual development. And I'm one of the only people I know, SI Collective, who does his. He's a nice brother out in California who has his own brand, but he also shows the development and the behind the scenes things. These are things that big companies will not show you. So anyway, things were going nicely. People were giving great feedback. And the conclave was actually going to happen down the road, which is why these guys wanted to get this boot in time, because it was going to be limited. They were going to get it, and they were going to show it off when they went to their conclave out in Vegas. But then I got an inbox one day on Facebook, and the gentleman says, hey, man, you need to stop doing what you're doing because you're acting like a poser. Now, mind you, I'm a little surprised by that, because it was somebody who looked like me. And I told him, hey, man, I explained everything to him and said, hey, I'm actually trying to do this for you guys. I'm not trying to be, I'm a grown-ass man, and then I'm trying to pose. I run a business. This is what I do. Was asked for a favor. I even contacted the national chapter and said, hey, here's what we need to do to kind of get this out to let everybody know. Didn't really get any feedback there, but went and did it on my own because I'm a marketing guy. And I had friends that were Qs who was also pushing the product. But this guy, it went from that email to me responding to him making threats. And so let me tell you how this went. The threats went from just him to then I guess he made a post on Facebook and had all these people. Now let me tell you, we were just starting, as I mentioned before. And we probably had over, baby, would you say about 700 hits in an hour? Yeah. 700 hits that hour after he put his post up. And for 5 days, we had a total of 75,000+ hits. So it was a bonus. Him bringing all that negative attention. So he thought to us, thinking that we were trying to pose and do all these things, not really understanding or choosing to ask questions, just kind of being a hothead. And again, I don't hold what he did against anybody else. Everyone who knows me knows that, it was just unfortunate. because I heard he had a lot of people cussed him out afterwards because that was just something he really shouldn't have done. I don't even remember his name, and I wouldn't even say it now because that's just, I'm in a different place. And even me back then, I was in a different place, but I was a little bit of, I could have said some things, but for me as a business owner, I wasn't going to risk what I had and what I was trying to build for something stupid to pop off and ruin my brand. I can mess my brand up on my own. I didn't need one knucklehead trying to do that for me. And my father's always told me, and I'm sure other people's fathers have told them, all money ain't good money. And I'm not saying that the money of the Qs ain't good, but the things I would have had to deal with and the things that I could have potentially gone through wouldn't have been worth my company and where we were to where we are now. What I did, I don't regret at all. These are the only pair in existence. It's not, anytime anyone sees this, it's not a time that someone says, hey, can you please still come out with these? I've been offered a lot of money for these, and I told people, I'm not selling them unless it's for $5,000. Why? Because ain't nothing you could offer me for something that's a one of one that, has a story behind it, and it's just something I wasn't willing to do and put my company in jeopardy. Now, I understand. I got a few minutes left. I understand how Greek frats are about people, doing, stuff that aren't frat and all that stuff. But I think that people need to understand that you are taking other people down who look like you, who are trying to do things for both yourself and for our company to help it grow. And that's something we could have done together. I had alphas, I had kappas come to me and say, hey, man, we're going to give you kind of grief. Now, mind you, I had a situation with the kappas at one of their takeovers where another situation where friends who were kappas asked me to make them shirts. We made them original shirts, and then we went and got them trademarked because they said, hey, you can't use this name. You can't. Yeah, that's fine. I respected it, moved right on, but I said, you ever use ours, we're going to sue you then. And it's another thing of, I'm just going to do what I do under the cover of darkness when it comes to frats. People can come directly to me and have. I have a cousin who I love dearly, Cherie, who is a Delta, make stuff for her all the time. Never a problem. For her sorors, ski-week, do things all the time. Mix y'all up for a second. But this was the story behind it. And it's basically a tale that don't let anything ever keep you from reaching your ultimate goal of success or attempted success. I don't really ever like to use the thing try, because you don't try. You either do something or you don't. And for me, this was going to get done because, this was a challenge for me. This was something I thought would have been a great thing. It is an iconic boot. I am saying it's an iconic boot. It would have been an iconic boot for the Bruvs. But unfortunately, things happened the way they happened, and this didn't come to fruition. Maybe sometime down the road, if someone from the national chapter approaches me and does it the right way, the way I had really intended it before, hoping that they would get behind it like the Bruvs from the chapter did, maybe, but not until then, and most likely probably not. So that is that story. Thank you guys for tuning in again. I will give you another close-up before I tune out of the Omega Sci-Fi 1911 step boot. It is a thing of beauty. I don't care what anybody says. Look at all that pattern in there. Their feet would have never hurt. Appreciate y'all. Stay safe.